Hey there, legal warriors. What is an SOC? A Stipulated Order of Continuance. Have you heard of that term? Do you have a criminal case? Are you just interested in the criminal law? If so, stay tuned because this is the video for you. My name is Attorney Lance Fryrear, and I'm a defense attorney in Linwood, Washington. My law firm's been defending people charged with crimes for more than 20 years, and I'm putting out these videos to help the public get educated. So if you find it useful, please like and please subscribe. More people will get the help they need. So I'm just going to jump right into it. SOC, Stipulated Order of Continuance. What does that mean? For us defense attorneys, it's a really great thing. An SOC is a type of outcome or a disposition that can be offered in certain criminal cases. And that would be offered by the government or the prosecutor. So in this video, I'm going to cover three things. One, what is an SOC literally? I mean, what is the vehicle? Two, when might it be available and when will it not be available? And three, some common pitfalls to think about in deciding whether or not you want to resolve your case with an SOC. So number one, what is it? Well, it's a contract. It's usually a multi-page document that lets the defendant know that the state is going to offer you a deal without pleading guilty, right? It's a deal where it says, hey, Mr. or Ms. Defendant, we're going to say that if you can live up to the terms of this contract, we're going to give you a benefit. And in most of the SOCs, the benefit is a dismissal of the case if you live up to the terms. And so it's a multi-page document. It's going to say your name's going to be on it. It's going to say the maximum penalty is this for whatever you're charged with. The minimum penalty is such and such. And that you're going to waive your right to a trial. And you're not going to plead guilty, but you're going to waive your right to a trial. You're going to agree that if you violate the agreement and the judge revokes the agreement, we don't have to have a trial, that at least a jury trial. The judge can just look at the police reports and sort of do a police report trial and find you guilty of the offense. But you're not pleading guilty, you're not being found guilty, the case is just being continued without any findings against you. And you give up some rights, you give up, the right to a speedy trial, the right to, hear and question witnesses, you're just basically saying, I'm going to bet on myself. And you're probably only going to enter into an SOC on a case that you think you would lose anyway at trial. So really, it's a win, it's an opportunity for the defendant. And so it's a contract that the prosecutor offers, that you sign off on, the prosecutor signs off on, the judge reviews, and then the judge continues the case for a period of time. And so what types of cases might get offered an SOC? Well, non-felonies to begin with. I've never seen a felony charge where there was such a thing as a stipulated order of continuance. Okay, they're called different things in different courts. Everett Municipal Court might call it a dispositional continuance. Seattle might call it something else, or maybe I should take it back. They call it a POD in Everett Municipal Court in Seattle, a dispositional continuance. But it's going to be offered, if it ever is, in misdemeanor or gross misdemeanor level cases. And it's basically court by court. Some courts say, I'm not going to allow an SOC because I don't think it's an allowable outcome under the court rules. The majority of courts, though, will allow SOCs if the prosecutor wants to offer them. So if you have a case that's a non-felony and it's in a municipal court, pretty good chance SOCs are on the table for an option for the prosecutor. If it's in a district court, there's a lesser chance just from how the courts operate, but more and more district courts are falling in line and saying SOCs are available. Why might they want to do that? Because it's a great way to resolve cases where the prosecutor can give a defendant a chance to prove him or herself to get a better result while getting a conviction if they guess wrong and the defendant commits another crime or doesn't live up to the terms. Because for the most part, prosecutors, defense attorney, the court, they want to be part of a solution where we can make the defendant better and we can, move forward. Some prosecutors want retribution, that's all true, but many prosecutors are hopefully still doing what they do because they want to be part of the solution for society. And part of that is helping the individual get better and giving them a chance to hopefully not ruin their life from this one incident. So what are some pitfalls? Number 3, to worry about in SOCs, well, you got to worry about, can I complete the terms, right? Because the terms might involve, alcohol treatment or anger management or domestic violence treatment or, a certain amount of community service. And so, if you're going to give up your trial rights, make sure that you can be successful. So I would not ever let one of my clients enter into an SOC with an alcohol and drug evaluation required unless we already knew what it was. What was going to be required? Has it already been completed? Is my client already started the treatment, and have they shown they can be successful? Because if you mess up treatment while you're on the SOC, you're going to get revoked and you're going to get convicted most of the time. Sometimes you'll get another chance if the court or prosecutor is willing to give you another chance. But oftentimes in SOCs are pretty strict. So one big pitfall is, can you live up to the terms? Just don't jump into the deal without having most of it done. If you can get most of it done before you give up your rights, that's a good idea. Number two, what's your immigration status, right? If you're a non-citizen, an SOC can be a really great thing, but you also want to make sure that your attorney is aware of any immigration issues that can be caused by the SOC, especially in domestic violence cases. So most of the time, people are going to be okay, but non-citizens really need to check with an immigration attorney and check with their defense attorney about what their experience is with like clients in the like situation, right? Are you on an H-1B visa? Are you about ready to get your green card? Are you in a student status? What is it? And so that's another pitfall. I think the third pitfall is, what is the length of the SOC, right? How long is it until I get that dismissal, right? Because while the SOC is in place, the case is still open, right? It's not like it's dismissed. You know it's going to get dismissed because you're going to comply, right? But it's not dismissed yet. So think about timing. Am I applying for another job where, I need a dismissal before I apply? And is that some way that your attorney can try to bargain for a bit shorter time? Most SOCs are around 24 months. Many courts will do 18 months. Some prosecutors, you might get to 12 months. And once in a blue moon, you might see 6 months. But think 18 to 24 months for the most part. And so does that fit your timeline, right? And so, you might not have another choice because you might be dead to rights on the report and your only way out is an SOC. So your attorney hopefully has done a great job getting you that. But that's the other pitfall, is think about, how long is it going to take and how does that work with your life? So if you complete the SOC, what happens? Well, many courts will dismiss the case administratively without you having to go back to court. Some courts want you to go back to court, right? They're different. And so you need to ask your attorney about, hey, what is the status right now? And realize that it may change the procedure as judges change and problems happen, procedures change. So you're going to want a calendar when you think that SOC is up, and get a hold of your attorney, be it private attorney or public defender, before it's up, to find out, hey, do I need to go to court? Can you get it dismissed without me going to court? What do I need to do to make sure I comply and get this dismissal? And then what happens if you violate, right? If you violate, it's up to the city or the state, the prosecutor, whoever it is, to set a motion to revoke the SOC, right? To say, hey, court, I want a hearing because Mr. or Ms. Defendant didn't complete their treatment, or Mr. or Ms. Defendant got a new crime during the period of the SOC, and you're never allowed to get a new crime during an SOC. And because of that, I want a hearing where I may ask, as the prosecutor, to revoke the SOC and convict the defendant. And so you've got to keep your address up to date, because if a revocation hearing gets set, if you fail to appear, that may violate the SOC alone, and you're going to get a warrant and stuff like that. If you do appear, is it hopeless? No, it's not hopeless. Sometimes your attorney can convince the prosecutor to give you another chance, right? And it's unusual to have the judge rule against a prosecutor who does move forward with revoking the SOC, because usually they're only going to move forward with strong evidence of a violation. But it may not be hopeless, so get a hold of your attorney if there's a problem, so your attorney may be able to get you to do some stuff to give you a better chance to get the prosecutor to change their mind. Let's say it's a treatment problem, like you messed up treatment, you used alcohol. Well, how might we convince the prosecutor to change their mind? Well, prior to getting an SOC revocation hearing, maybe we have you go back to your treatment provider and say, hey, treatment provider, I messed up, I consumed alcohol or drugs, I need more treatment, right? Maybe I need inpatient. But maybe you get your treatment upped and then do great in your treatment between the time you up your treatment and the hearing, and then maybe your attorney can show that prosecutor that, hey, the consequences of a revocation are too much, and now that you're doing better, maybe relapse is part of recovery. Maybe that's something the prosecutor believes. So if you get a revocation set, don't give up. It may not be hopeless. Let your attorney know and do what your attorney says, right? So you have a better chance to get a second chance and hopefully get that dismissal or reduction that the SOC says you're entitled to if the SOC is not revoked. So I hope that has been helpful. If so, please like and please subscribe. More people will get the help they need. And if you're in a criminal situation, someone you know is, feel free to give my office a call. Again, I'm Lance Fryrear. My firm's been defending people charged with crimes for more than 20 years. If they give us a call, we'll listen to what happened, we'll identify a way forward, and we will be there for you. Thank you.